When a teenage girl was prevented from taking her first-class seat, the crew assumed she didn't belong there. What they didn't realize was who her father happened to be. And the moment he appeared, everything shifted. Watch until the end to see how this remarkable story plays out. And let us know the time you're watching from. The airport buzzed with life that day. Rolling suitcases clattered across the floor. Voices echoed from overhead announcements, and the smell of fresh coffee drifted from nearby kiosks. Energy filled the air as travelers hurried through security, eager to reach their gates. Among them walked 16-year-old Amara Johnson, her carry-on in hand, her bright eyes shining with quiet confidence. Her father, James Johnson, had surprised her with a first-class ticket for her birthday, a reward she had earned after months of academic achievements. It was her very first time sitting in first class, and the thought of wide seats, gourmet meals, and luxury treatment made her heart beat faster. As she stood in line at the gate, checking her boarding pass over and over, her phone buzzed with a message from her dad. "Enjoy your first-class experience, sweetheart. You've earned it." Amara's lips curved into a smile as she typed a quick reply, pride swelling inside her. Walking toward the boarding area, she felt like she was stepping into an entirely new world, one that once felt out of reach. Little did she know her excitement was about to be met with an unexpected challenge to her sense of belonging. Her pulse quickened when she finally entered the plane and approached the first-class section, ready to take her seat. But before she could sit down, a flight attendant blocked her path. What could possibly go wrong? Amara lifted her boarding pass, pointing to the bold print that read first class. "This is my seat," she said politely, her voice calm though her chest tightened. Stephanie, the flight attendant, barely glanced at the ticket before folding her arms. "Miss, these seats are reserved for premium ticket holders. If you don't have the right pass, you'll need to move back to your section." Amara's face grew hot. She looked down again, certain she had the correct seat. "But this is my section. My dad bought this seat for me." Stephanie let out a doubtful laugh, her lips curling. "Your dad bought it, right? Let's double-check with the gate agent." Murmurs rippled through the cabin. A man in a suit raised an eyebrow, while a woman across the aisle gave Amara a sympathetic glance. Amara's heart pounded. "I don't understand." "This is my ticket," she said, her voice unsteady. With an exaggerated sigh, Stephanie relented. "Fine, sit for now. But if there's an error, you'll have to move." Amara slid into the seat, cheeks burning, aware of the curious and judgmental eyes on her. Humiliation pressed against her chest as she sat rigidly, hands clasped in her lap. The whispers nearby grew louder. She replayed the moment in her head, the dismissive tone, the skeptical smirk, the assumption that she didn't belong. It wasn't just embarrassing, it was infuriating. Her father had gifted her this seat, and she had earned the right to be here. Yet here she was, treated like an imposter. Amara's fingers hovered over her phone, tempted to call her dad. But she remembered his words. "You belong wherever you choose to be." That mantra had always given her courage. She straightened her posture, lifted her chin, and decided to wait. When Stephanie returned with the gate agent, both wore skeptical expressions. The agent studied Amara's ticket, about to speak, when the cabin door swung open. James Johnson stepped in, his tailored suit sharp, his presence commanding instant attention. His gaze immediately found Amara's, and her shoulders relaxed. Walking down the aisle with confidence, he stopped beside his daughter. Stephanie's tone shifted, forced into politeness. "Sir, we're just handling a seating issue." "A seating issue?" James repeated, calm yet firm. "With my daughter?" Stephanie blinked, caught off guard. "Your daughter?" Placing a hand on Amara's shoulder, James looked directly at Stephanie and the gate agent. "Yes, my daughter. So tell me why she's being questioned about a seat her boarding pass clearly shows belongs to her." The manager quickly escorted Stephanie away, leaving the cabin quiet. Embarrassed passengers exchanged uneasy glances, some murmuring apologies under their breath, others avoiding eye contact altogether. James crouched slightly, meeting Amara at eye level. "Are you all right, sweetheart?" he asked gently. "I'm fine, Dad," Amara whispered, her voice trembling. "But why does this always happen? Why do people assume?" James squeezed her shoulder. "Because some people let their biases blind them. But today, they learned assumptions carry consequences. And more importantly, you showed them grace." Then he stood tall, addressing the cabin with measured authority. "Let this be a reminder. Don't judge someone by appearances. Don't assume you know their story. Everyone deserves respect, whether they're my daughter, a stranger, or anyone else. The silence that followed was heavy. Finally, a man across the aisle cleared his throat. "Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry. We should have spoken up." A woman nearby added softly, "She's lucky to have a father like you." And she handled herself beautifully. Later, as the plane soared through the sky, Amara gazed out at drifting clouds. The sting of humiliation faded, replaced with quiet pride. Turning to her father, she whispered, "Thank you for standing up for me." James smiled warmly. "I'll always stand up for you, Amara. But today, you stood up for yourself first. And that's what makes me proud. You didn't let them shake you." "I just wish people didn't judge so quickly," Amara admitted. Her father leaned forward slightly, his voice steady with wisdom. "People will always judge. It isn't right, but it's reality. What matters is how you respond. Every time you rise above it, every time you demand the respect you deserve, you're teaching the world a lesson." Just then, another flight attendant approached, setting a glass of sparkling water on Amara's tray. "From the crew, with our sincerest apologies," she said kindly. Amara met her dad's eyes, and he nodded in approval. She sipped the water, letting the small moment of vindication settle in. James leaned back in his seat, his voice quiet but resolute. "Remember this, Amara. You belong anywhere you choose to be, and no one has the right to make you feel otherwise."